Familiar opponent?
It's beneficial in some ways and not so much in others. You know, to be super familiar with a team. You know what they're going to try to do. They know what we're going to try to do. Communication is limited because they've heard the calls, 5-6 times now. We haven't changed those. So it's just going to be down to execution, technique, fundamentals, controlling the line of scrimmage, and not turning the ball over.
Those tackle traps that you and Dion do from both sides.
Wears my shoulders out.
I'm sure. Without giving away the secret, what makes that play from both you and Dion at any given time? What makes that play effective?
I think if you just look around the league, there's not a lot of tackles that pull as much as Dion and I do. Usually it's the guards on gap plays like that doing it, but if you can hold at the backside and then you're one-on-one with the defensive end, then if it all goes well, Jimmy would be one-on-one with the safety, and I'm choosing Jimbo. So there's a lot of variety you could do out of it, and it just works well with our personnel.
Spence, how do you approach this game like every other one, the same way you've done all the rest of them this year, when you know what happens, what's on the other side of a win this week?
I mean, I'm not trying to think too much about the wins and loss right now, what happens and what doesn't. I'm just trying to think about Sunday and being the best we can be for our teammates, and hopefully it all goes well.
Do you entertain any ideas or thoughts about what it would be like to win?
It's either going to be super celebration party or me in a 24-pack by myself. So that was the two ends of the spectrum.
Spencer, what could you learn from watching this game last time in Week 11? You know, and watching Ryan out there and watching what happened. I know this is you've played teams for the first time before, but you actually saw them from a different perspective.
Yeah, I mean, when that was all going on, believe it or not, I'm only watching Vandy in the defensive end or what he's doing. And,
yep.
I mean, I'm up in the box, but I can kind of guess on play call and down distance and stuff like that. So for me, it was just a legit moment to sit back and just watch, which I think that's beneficial in its own way. But, you know, I've also played these guys a couple times, so I know the personnel, we know the game plan, and just go out there and execute and go from there.
How much can a guy like Chris Jones really impact what you do, whether you're lined up from him or not, just kind of knowing where he is every play?
Yeah, he's just a game wrecker, you know, all-pro for however many years, and I think the best D-tackle in the game. And if you can take a D-tackle from inside 3-tech or nose or whatever he's doing, and then line him outside on a 5 on their pass down, a lot of tackles, myself included, that brings a different challenge to the game. So just preparing for that, going back and watching what I did against him when he did line up previous times, and pray.
You got a lot of the last win versus the Ravens. A lot of guys were saying how they used like what was being said outside as motivation. How much do you guys use that and balance like listening to it versus kind of tuning it out?
I think you know, there's nothing that Coach McDermott puts up there is not like Emmanuel Ocho said this or someone else said that. You know, there's nothing like that going on. But me, just like everybody else, I'm sure we see it in passing, and you can internalize that and be upset or use that as fuel. And I think we have the right guys in the locker room that do use that as fuel, and they won't say it out loud, but we know what's being said. That's fine. People can be right, people can be wrong, but we're just going to stick to what we do.
Sean talked about this. Go ahead.
Sean said today that you can't win when you play scared to lose. What does that mean to you, knowing where you've been in the past?
That falls into I think it was Dan Orlovsky that quoted it, but Jimmy Johnson said that you lose more playoff games than you win. And I think that's just playing free and relying on your technique, like, oh, it's the AFC Championship game, let's do something out of the ordinary. Or maybe you give too much effort and penalty or blocking the back, or you're just playing instead of controlled and poised, you're playing out of control, your heart rate's going 1,000 miles an hour. So it's all about taking a breath and realizing, I don't know what game this is for us, but we've done this how many times, so just go out there and treat it like another game. Don't treat it like the AFC Championship game and all your dreams are up here or they could be down here. Like, I'm not thinking about that, I'm just thinking about executing on Sunday.
Thanks, Spencer.
Thanks.